What's up everyone, welcome to Tech Savvy Buyer. So today we're going to take a look at the Carpuride Android Auto / Apple CarPlay device for your car. So this device lets you use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in any vehicle. Could be an old one or could be a new one that just doesn't have that functionality. So in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick unboxing. I'm going to show you guys what you get with this specific model. This is the 103 Pro from Carpuride. What are the different functionalities between this and a couple other devices that they may offer. You know, if you can get away with getting a more budget-friendly option, that might be perfect for you. I will show you what the different connectivity options are. So if you have a vehicle, let's say from early 2000s or late 90s that doesn't have Bluetooth functionality, well, lucky for you because this can still work with the audio function of your FM radio. So there's a few cool things inside this that are pretty awesome and pretty neat to have, especially if you've got an older car. We'll walk through what it looks like, obviously all the different connection ports and all that kind of stuff. And then last but not least, I want to show you guys how it performs in my vehicle. So the vehicle that I'm going to be testing this on is a 2016 BMW 750. While that does have Apple CarPlay, it does not have Android Auto. And for me, that's kind of unfortunate because I used Android Auto. So we'll take a look at all that stuff coming right up. All right, let's take a quick look at the unboxing here and what we get inside. So inside, first things first, you get your actual tablet style device here. This is the screen that you'll be putting inside your car. There's a couple different ways to mount it, but overall, very nice quality. I do wish the bezel was a little bit thinner. It comes with a pre-installed screen protector, so that's always great. You've got your power button up top, and then you've got a couple of different port options that we're gonna run through here shortly in more detail. So other than that, inside the box, you've got a standard window mount suction cup. You get an included carport charger. That's always handy to have. That's what's going to be main power for your device. You get a backup camera too, so in case you've got a vehicle that doesn't have one, this has the functionality to use a backup camera, which comes included, so that's really nice. You get a dashboard mount with a sticky pad. You get an auxiliary cable, and you get another cover for the dashboard mount. Okay guys, so this is a 10.3 inch screen size at a 1440p resolution. And as I mentioned, there are a number of different ports on there that you can see. So you've got your standard power port, which is going through a USB Type-C. You have a normal USB-A port, you've got an audio out port, one for your camera in, you've got a micro SD slot, and then you've also got a microphone port. So all in all, I mean, it's got a ton of functionality. It's actually pretty slim profile-wise, and it's not really that heavy, so it will make a really fine addition to any car to make it look more extreme. And best of all, when you need to move it to a different vehicle, say you're going on a trip and you're renting a car, you can always just pop this in the bag with you, and that way you know you've got Android Auto or Apple CarPlay available with you anywhere you go. Okay guys, so this is what the main screen actually looks like when you power it up for the first time. So you've got a couple of different things over here that you can go and select. The one thing that I really want to give some importance to or show you guys that's super cool is the audio output functionality. And so you essentially have 4 different ways that you can connect audio. And I think I mentioned this before, but in case I didn't, there is a built-in speaker on the back of the device that I believe is a 4-watt speaker. So it's not anything crazy, but it gets the job done if you don't have any other thing to use. Then you've got the FM transmission functionality, which basically you select a FM channel on your radio and this will broadcast onto that channel, whichever one, just make sure they match. Now the audio quality on this one would probably be the least, preferred option. This is for vehicles that are super old, that don't have Bluetooth, don't have an auxiliary port, don't have a CD player in them either. That's where you'd want to use something like this. Then you've got your typical or average Bluetooth one. And as you can see, I've already gone ahead and paired that in my car. And so essentially any audio that's coming out of your phone will now go through this into your car. So that way you can, pick up a phone in case someone calls you, answer that, or make phone calls, use voice assistant, any of that stuff. It'll just work, naturally through the Bluetooth connection. And last but not least, you have your auxiliary port, which on the back, as we saw last time, you have an auxiliary port that you can plug into an auxiliary port in your car and use the audio through that way. Okay guys, so excuse the shakiness of the video. I'm on a GoPro at this point since I couldn't bring my camera in the car. And this is essentially what it looks like. So it actually looks really nice, to be honest. Here's the original screen of the BMW, and here's the screen on top, so a good size comparison for you guys to get a sense of it. Now, the way I've mounted this is just at a window mount right up there so that it's not really blocking my entire view that much, but it comes with a couple different options on how you can mount it. So let's do a quick setup of this so I can show you. Now, the power is just routed through right here into a cigarette lighter port there. Now, I believe there might be a way to hardwire this, but that's something you guys are gonna have to check. So first things first, you wanna go into settings and you wanna do a phone link. And here you get to choose the different options you have. So if you want Android Auto through wireless or through a USB cable, that's what that USB port on the side is for. Pretty easy to set up. Now they've got a few options in here. You could do AirPlay, you could do a mirror of your screen, and same thing with Android Auto. Like you can do a mirror of your screen on that as well. Okay guys, one more thing I want to show you just before we go ahead and set up CarPlay on this, or in fact Android Auto. So first thing that you want to do is you want to connect the Bluetooth of your vehicle to the actual device. So you're going to go into audio output, and then from there you've got several different options. So right now it's just on the default speaker. You can choose to do the FM transmitter option. So you just go to this on your radio and then audio would be coming out of that. You can use the auxiliary out port, or you can use the Bluetooth transmission. So one of the cool things about this Pro model is that it has two Bluetooth connections. So one Bluetooth connection would go and pair with your vehicle, and then you've got a separate one that pairs with your phone. So I'm going to click on this one since that's the one that I've got going on here. And you can see on the screen it popped up. We're going to hit OK, and then it should be connected to the Carpuride device. So at this point we have Bluetooth paired with this. Now that we've got that set up together, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove my phone from my car so that it doesn't get confused with different devices here. So now you can see on my screen, I've got Bluetooth connected as my primary audio source in my vehicle. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head over back to the home screen here. I'm going to go into settings. I'm going to make sure that I've got my Bluetooth set up, and you can see I've got my phone here that I'm going to go ahead and connect. So I've turned my Wi-Fi on, I've turned my Bluetooth on. Now I've already gone ahead and just paired this with the Bluetooth. So if you go in here, you can see that my phone has been connected to this already. So once it has that connected, when you activate your Wi-Fi, it should connect directly to your phone. So the only additional step you need to do is when you go into your Android device, you got to make sure that you connect to your Carpride that you see up there, and that way it'll automatically pair the Wi-Fi, and you've got now wireless CarPlay on your, or in this case, wireless Android Auto in your car. And that pretty much concludes it. So a couple of things I did want to cover because I know I haven't mentioned it yet. So let's talk about pricing of this guy. And I think I mentioned earlier in the video that there are a couple different options on what you want to get out there. But if you want something that's semi-OEM quality, that looks really nice, that doesn't have any functionality issues, and has a good touchscreen, good quality resolution, and all these different kinds of features, then you're going to be expecting to spend more than 200 bucks on average. That said, Carpride has a number of different options of screens. Like this one pictured as is, I believe retails for about $429. Now I know that sounds like a whole lot of money, but that being said, they're always running some kind of promotions all throughout the year. Plus, I've got a good discount code for you guys to use below, so it should put you around the neighborhood of somewhere between $250 to $300, which is a ton of a savings compared to spending $430. Now that said, with pricing being I guess the biggest pill to swallow out of it, it is a one-time investment, right? And so you guys get to take this wherever you want in any other vehicle because you're not really doing a permanent install. The whole idea is that you've got a portable Android Auto or Apple CarPlay solution that if you were to go on a vacation and rent the vehicle, you can always just take it out of your current car and put it in there. Now, a couple other things you'll see if you head over to their website, they've got a couple of different additional accessories that you can use to mount the device. So what came in the box, as you guys saw, was the option to do a dashboard mount with like a self-adhesive sticker, or using the suction cup functionality and mounting it to your windshield or even your dash if that happens to work for you. So as you saw in my vehicle, I had it mounted directly above the original screen using the windshield mount. So the other two that you can purchase are ones that can clip onto your air conditioner vents, and some cars that might be a more friendly way of doing it. And in older cars, a lot of those cars have CD players in them, and so it comes with an actual CD player mounting kit as well. So that makes it a lot more versatile in how you want to go ahead and mount this in the inside of your vehicle. So with 4 different ways of essentially mounting it, I think they've got everyone covered, whether you're going from your dash, your CD player, your air conditioner vent, or the typical windshield. Now, one thing I didn't mention is that if you use the windshield suction cup, you have to make sure that you leave it on for at least a full 24 hours or 1 day before you try to take it off. And that's because it kind of takes a bit for it to really seal on there. That doesn't mean you can't drive, but refrain from removing it and putting it back on as long as you've let the first 24 hours pass. Now, Carpride does stand behind their product, guys. They give you a 30-day, no questions asked return policy, as well as a 2-year warranty in case anything was to go wrong. So that gives you a chance to, just buy it, try it out. If it's not for you, or you think that this is a little bit overpriced for what it is, or, whatever feedback you guys may have, you can always just send it back, and not have to worry about going through, different types of hoops to get that refund back to you in your pocket. So overall, guys, I would highly recommend that you check out this device. Now, I know the car that I used to show this probably wasn't the greatest example, but for me, in my personal use case, it actually is really well. I don't use an iPhone or any Apple products. I tend to gravitate more towards Android products, and Android Auto is just really what I've been using. So not having that in my car, in 2024 seems to be kind of a nuisance. And so I always had my phone just mounted and using that as a screen, which, it seemed to work. But having a nice giant 10-inch screen that connects to my car and, has its own Bluetooth inside to connect to the actual device, that's a really, really handy feature and makes it a lot less, bit of a nuisance. The only one thing that I would say to Carpride, if you guys are listening, and what you could do to improve the product. So a couple of things. One, the bezel of this screen specifically is really, really large. And I think that if you could get away with having that bezel be a little bit smaller or thinner, or maybe bezel-less if possible, I think that would be a lot more user-friendly and it'd just look a lot nicer. As well as the logo being on the bottom. If the logo was somewhere a little bit more inconspicuous, it would look nicer as well. The other thing I would ask you guys to maybe look at is another type of solution to provide power to the device. Maybe offer a hardwire kit, and if you guys already do, then forgive me for that. But with that, guys, if you guys have any questions or feedback, again, you can let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to leave links as usual. You can go ahead and purchase this either from Amazon or directly on Carpride. Now, that said, Carpride will give you the better discounts, and you can follow my link to get a specific discount of, I believe, 10 or 15% off on top of whatever sales that are going on right now. So snag yourself a pretty good deal. So go ahead and check that out down below. Again, any questions, please let me know, and I will get back to you guys as soon as I can. But until then, thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure. And hopefully you guys get the best bang for buck with the device that you choose to run in your car. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.